Alright, I am here to do another Raquel Welch original versus elite comparison. Today I'm going to show you one of my all-time favorite synthetic styles, straight up with a twist. I have the original on my head in the color Shaded Wheat, and I'm going to compare to the straight up with the twist elite in the color, this is going to really white out my camera here, but we're going to give it a try, in the color SS Iced Sweet Cream. So I've been working my way through a lot of the beloved styles by Raquel Welch that come in an original and then an elite cap to show you guys the differences and help you make a decision, because the elite cap is an upgraded cap and is more expensive. So I think it's a fair question to ask. Do I really need to pay the extra for the elite, or can I just go for the original? So in this video, I'm going to give you a sense of both of these, even though I have reviewed the original straight up with a twist in another color. But the main focus of this is going to be the differences between the two and when you might decide to go with the original and save a little bit of money or choose the elite. I hope to make that decision easier for you with this video. So let's talk about it. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook, and Name Brand Wigs is making this video possible. They have sent me both of these styles so that I could do this comparison video. I think videos like this are so important because a lot of this information we can't really get from the product page. They don't talk about things like permatease, and while sometimes they talk about density, it's not a black and white issue, and I've seen wigs that were listed as light density that I didn't think were light density. So learning about these things and seeing the wig on a real person can really help you make a good decision. And you know, I never buy a wig that I can't see a review on. To me, it's just too great of a risk not knowing whether or not it's going to work. So I am very grateful to Name Brand Wigs. I will put links in the description to both of these pieces and a coupon code that will save you 30% off any Raquel Welch style, whether or not these are the ones that are for you. And if you'd like to see any of my other elite videos, I think you can just search Denise Sheets Raquel Welch Elite and you should be able to find those elite video comparisons. I think I've done, this will be my 4th one, I believe, and I sure hope to do more in the future. Now, before I get to comparing, let me just give you a couple of tips to help you if you are new to wearing wigs. I love this style so much that I actually have one that I've had for over 2.5 years and I wear it all the time. Because these are heat-friendly fibers, the general wisdom is heat-friendly fibers need heat to stay soft and supple. I don't think you need to take heat to these fibers on this style as often because it is short enough that it shouldn't really rub up much on your clothing. Some of that will depend on your measurements and your neck measurement and all that, but for me, they don't really rub up on my clothing, so I've only had to take heat to my 2.5-year-old straight up with a twist once, and I made a video showing you how I did that. I'll make sure that video is linked below. What can happen is the ends can sometimes get a little frizzy and a little frayed. The more friction is on those fibers, the more that can happen. Heat-friendly fibers are so wonderful in so many ways. They don't show shine like regular synthetic. They're super soft and flowy in a way that regular synthetic sometimes isn't. And you can really make the style your own by using heat tools. A drawback can be that the ends can sometimes get a little frizzy and frayed, but that's really easy to remedy, especially on a straight style like this. Don't be afraid of shorter, straight, heat-friendly wigs, no matter what you've heard, because they just are a little bit different than the longer style. So I'm going to link a video below that shows you how I fixed mine up after 2.5 years. I will also link a video showing how I can get lift in the front of a wig and pluck a part line. For me, on this piece on my head, the part line is just a little bit densely knotted, and the hair, it's getting better. The more I wear it and the more I do this, it is getting better, but it was super face floppy when I first put it on. A hot comb is, to me, a must-have tool if you're going to be a heat-friendly wig wearer, and it will do wonders to get lift in the front. And if you wanted to change the part on this one, because it is a full monotop, maybe you wanted to switch it to the right, these fibers are going to need some coaxing to shift in the other direction, and a hot comb will really help with that. So just be aware of those helpful videos that will be in the description. Now let's compare them. Let me show you the original straight up with a twist from all sides. I do have pictures that I will tack on the end, so I will put side-by-side pictures on the end so that you can see. I haven't figured out how to do videos with side-by-side videos like Taz can do. If you're familiar with Taz, I love how she does that. I don't know how to do that, so I do that with pictures at the very end. So this piece does not have any permatease. It is very flat to the head. It has what I would consider a moderate density. I think the website said that the Elite has a high density, so I will give you my opinion of that when I put that one on my head. But a moderate density, no permatease, really flat, kind of a rounded bob with layers. Just a wonderful, wonderful piece. It's why it's been one of my favorites for a really long time. So that's the full mono top. You can part it anywhere up there. We've got extended lace from ear tab to ear tab. So lots of styling options. Soft ear tabs with bendable stays, open wefting, extended nape, Velcro adjusters. And that is the cap on the original Straight Up with a Twist. Now before I put the Elite on, let's look at the cap on this one. So we still have that mono top and extended lace front, so that's the same, but all of this, all the way around, is hand tied. So not only do you get the hand tied monofilament up here, but it goes all the way around the crown for you to have hand tied features. And then we've got just a little bit of closed wefting about midway back on your head down to the nape, and that's the closed wefting. And then we have Velcro adjusters on this one as well. Everything, soft ear tabs, all of that's the same. Why hand tied? So on a wefted wig, and the original, I had flipped her the other direction, let me get her inside out again. A wefted wig, these are wefts, the hair is sewn onto a weft track, and then those are put on the wig. So on those wefted pieces, the hair can't move around on an individual knot. They can move as a group up and down. If you want to do certain styling, or if it's super windy, you do have to be aware of the open wefting. That can sometimes be a little bit of a challenge to hide. Whereas on all of these hand-tied features, each hair, it may be individual hairs, it could be a little, like a couple of hairs together, are hand tied in on a knot. So those hairs all along here can move individually on the axis of that knot. So you've got more natural movement, and you don't have the wefts to see if the wind blows. This is a mesh cap. You can see my fingernails through the cap. It's a light mesh cap that can help to mimic scalp just a little bit. So you get more natural movement, and hand-tied wigs don't have permatease. So while Straight Up with the Twist original really didn't have permatease, sometimes you'll find an Elite comparison where one of the wigs did have permatease and the Elite doesn't. So that can be another difference. Let me throw this one on. And if I recall, this one is also a little bit of a face flopper, and I haven't worn this one like I've worn the other one. So again, I have a video where I will show you how to take a hot comb to really fix that part, to get the hair to lay better, to get lift. Whatever your personal style preference is, you may get one of these out of the box and love how it lays and not need to do that. But this is the Elite. Oh, just luxurious. Let's take a look at this one from all sides. Again, I'll have side-by-side pictures on the end. One thing that I'm noticing right away, this cap is smaller than the regular cap. It is a little bit tighter on me. Not significant though. I am getting extra cap up here, just like I do, and I didn't show you that on the other one, but I do get extra cap on my Raquel Welch wigs. I have a 21 1/4 circumference, 12 1/4 ear to ear, and 12 1/2 hairline to nape. And that's pretty petite. So average caps tend to run big on me. I usually have to cinch them in, and I get lots of extra cap up here. There are tons of videos on YouTube showing how to sew wefts together to make a wig cap a little bit smaller. It's on my to-do list. I haven't done it yet, but I do need to. So I can tell that this one is running a little bit smaller, but to be honest with you, not as small as some of the Elite caps I've tried. So it seems to me like there is some size variation within the Elite caps, but I find that to be true of all wigs and all brands. You'll get one and it seems like it's too tight. You'll get another and it seems like it fits you. It's kind of an odd anomaly that I've noticed. Another thing I'm noticing, this is much more rounded. So I think part of that is a product of this being hand-tied versus wefted, and those individual fibers are just laying more individually than on wefting, and also because so much of this cap is hand-tied, that's again just a little bit of the variation that you can find in handmade items. Now, the price difference is less than $100 difference. So right now on the Name Brand Wigs website, the regular straight up with the twist is running $489 to $492. So it is a luxury synthetic, higher price point. The Elite is running $559 to $569. So about an $80 difference. So not a significant difference between the two. I have seen a couple of $100 difference between a regular and an Elite. So this one is much closer. Here's why I love the Elite cap. I find it to be more comfortable. It feels lighter on my head. I think Elite caps aren't as itchy. So some people are really sensitive to the wefting on a wefted cap. Well, this one has a little bit of closed wefting on the bottom, and I do find personally closed wefting to be more comfortable with that layer of material over the wefting. So this just feels so light on my head. The hair, when I do this, it just feels like it's moving so naturally. Not that the regular one doesn't move naturally, but when you've got those wefts, it just doesn't flow the same on the top here as it does on this one, because they're all hand tied and not on a weft track. So I think the benefits of an Elite cap, if you can afford the extra price difference, is comfort, lightness, styling options. If you're someone who likes to do fun styles, maybe you want to do like pull some of the hair up in the back. Without wefts there, you don't have to worry about seeing the cap in the same way. So I do think you've got great styling options with a hand-tied cap versus a wefted cap. Not that you can't style wefted caps. You just have to be more cautious of those wefts. So I do think some of those benefits may or may not apply to you. If you don't find wefted caps itchy, if you don't do much in the way of styling, you might not spend the extra money on the Elite cap. You might just love, especially since the original does have a full mono top. I've seen some of the Elites where the original was a basic cap and then you got the Elite with the full mono. I've seen some where the original had a mono part and then you get a mostly hand-tied cap. So I have seen greater differences in some of the other ones. This one, I think they're a lot closer together, so it really is just personal preference. And to be honest with you, your Elite might not be as rounded as mine. Some of that is a product of the hand tying of the fibers, so you might find variation in that. But for me, personally, this is my first experience with the Elite cap on Straight Up with a Twist, and I am loving it. I am loving the roundedness on this one so much, and it just feels so full and luxurious. No permatease, just the way that they've styled this one, and I am just loving that so much. So the decision is yours. There's that lace front. Whichever your preference is, I don't think you can go wrong with Straight Up with a Twist. It's such a favorite. And since I didn't show you the lace front on this one, I thought I'd throw it back on and show that to you. Yeah, just so many differences. I do find the wefting to feel a little bit itchier, just a little bit. And you can see flatter, it looks lower density, so I do think that density and fullness differences do exist. So if you don't like that extra fullness, you might prefer the original Straight Up with a Twist to get it to be a little bit more sleek and flat. Do you have experience with either one of these? Please leave it in the comments. I think personal experience helps the wig community so much, and your wig sisters I'm sure would appreciate to hear your thoughts on these, because a lot of what I shared today are personal preference. opinion. You know, there's very few subjective things when it comes to the wig journey. So if I prefer something, that doesn't mean that you'll prefer it at all. And I think both of these are wonderful, wonderful pieces. Now, I'm not going to cover color. I should have said this at the beginning. I'm not going to cover color in this video because it's already too long for me to then go into color. So I will do separate color videos on these colors. So stay tuned for those color videos. They'll be a lot shorter, and that way you'll have the information you need about color. Thanks for watching, and thank you again to Name Brand Wigs for sharing this. I appreciate that so much. Talk to you guys soon. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.